Welcome back to Kirby's Dream Land 2. It is time now for Cloudy Park. Kind, quit it. Kind, surely we won't need you here. I mean, we've already needed Kind twice for the rainbow drops. But we'll see what we have to deal with here in the first stage. And the rest of the stages. That's kind of how video games work. Okay, well, we do get to see how this guy works. Right? He's not even gonna activate here. Oh god, aren't they just called, like, propellers or something? Yeah, their names are very simple, but they legitimately do just have it out for the animal companions, which we don't have right now because I did have to abandon Rick because he was too big. But yeah, those enemies are just very normal around Kirby. But if you have an animal companion, they are just there to kill the animal companion, and they take so long to die, too. It's just the snail that kills you if you touch it. It's very slow-moving, but eventually it will get you. Also, gee, I wonder what you get from this mini-boss. I gotta say, Dreamland 2 has some of the... I wanna say tougher mini-bosses of the Kirby series. Oh god, really, Kind. Isn't this a random one? My luck was not good here. But yeah, I don't know if I want to say toughest mini-bosses in the Kirby series, but they definitely feel like they are the hardiest. I feel like most of them take a while to die. Although, admittedly, I feel like a lot of the other mini-bosses that, like, grapple you or whatever are typically the hardest. Like, if you're not careful, Fire Lion or Bugsy will kinda just destroy you. I don't think Fan's so bad. Also, this is neither here nor there, but I don't know if I ever said this during the Kirby series. I kinda prefer Fan to the turtle boss from Adventure. Like, I know a lot of people do prefer Kirby's Adventure, and there are definitely bits and pieces of Adventure that, like, weirdly did not make it to the Game Boy Advance version. Like, the spinning rooms, their replacement wasn't that good. But I do like Fan more. I don't think the turtle's that memorable. And I don't think it ever appears again, does it? I mean, it certainly doesn't appear in this game. We haven't seen the turtle. Also, weirdly enough, this is the ability that, Kind does not seem to mind at all. Kind likes being frozen. It gives him a sense of calm. Also, yes, those are Meta Knight's troops. If you're wondering, no, Meta Knight does not appear in this game himself in any capacity. He does not have the enemy summon gimmick he did from Adventure. He definitely does not appear as a boss. And I mean, like, even if he did, what would you do against him? There's no sword ability. We've not seen sword from enemies, and, you know, nothing else has made a sword in this game. And, no animal buddies have made it, so yeah, doesn't seem like there's a sword. Weird. I feel like sword can't be my favorite Kirby ability. Oh, that's another Kind, great. Look, Kind, I like you. I just don't like playing with you. I don't like what you do to my movement, although we do need you here. This is a section that absolutely does have a tide, and we need to get in here for this dude. But yeah, like, there's so many Kirby abilities that surely I must like more than Sword. Like, I can't be 10 years old about the Sword ability forever, right? It's straightforward, and there is something to admire about that. But, like, please, Self, come on. You have to like something more than just, oh cool sword, right? Please. Also, short-lived Rick. Hope you don't like Rick's theme too much because it's gone already. And we do need Ku here because, yeah, Ku of course can go against breezes. Well, that's a little more of a breeze. That is very clearly just heavy wind, but either way. Now we gotta fight a ninja. And yeah, like I said, I don't know if I would say the bosses in this game are difficult. But boy, they sure have a lot of HP. Okay, so we got Cutter. So whatever could we use Cutter for, you think? Wouldn't it be funny if this wasn't even for a rainbow drop? I mean, we're only in stage 2, so maybe this is just for like an extra life or something. You don't know. We do need Ku and Cutter, though. There we go. I'm gonna level with you after the previous rainbow drops. That one's nothing. Like, the most difficult part about it is the fact that it appears so early in the world. Which, if I weren't using a guide, might throw me off. Except it's also easy to find as well. Like, yeah, I don't know why we're in the second to last world, and that was one of the easiest rainbow drops in the game. Except maybe the one from World 1. Like, the only reason I didn't get that on my initial go-through is because World 1 doesn't give you the right ability until after you've passed the rainbow drop. Maybe that is just kind of a way to condition the player into expecting the unexpected. Like, it's pretty easy to find the rainbow drop. You can come across it easily, but unless you're revisiting the stage, you don't actually have the ability you need to get to it. So maybe that's just their way of kind of hinting to the player, hey, you're gonna need to think these through. Honestly, it's not a terrible design decision. I don't know if I'd have the most fun finding the rainbow drops on my own, but given the length of this game, I can't say it's an illegitimate way to increase playtime. Like, giving the player little mysteries to solve can potentially be pretty fun. I just don't know if Kirby games are really the format I like that sort of thing for. I certainly like games that ask you to think things through to find, like, the big secrets, but I don't know, I do just kind of prefer modern Kirby, where things are definitely hidden pretty well sometimes. I think most people will have stages where they just cannot find what they're looking for on the first go-through, so I don't think it's like an overly simplified manner. But also, I can't recall any modern Kirby game where it will ask you to go back like 5 stages to get an ability, and then keep that ability all the way through the stage to get your whatever power-up. And yeah, I definitely kind of prefer that. Oh god, this stage, right, yeah. This one's a little slow-moving. We've got these guys, which I feel like I have a name I want to call them, but that might be a bit of a spoiler. Future me, what are these guys called again? Like, they're little mummy-wrapped guys, but, design-wise, they do remind me of a certain guy that I don't want to name just yet. I don't think it appears in the manual, although we'll have to double-check if that's true next time. But for the most part, said thing is, you know, kept fairly secret throughout the game, so I'm going to continue being coy about it. But yeah, we'll comb through the manual next time. I oscillate wildly back and forth on how early I do manual stuff, huh? Half the time I either go over the manual at the end of the game, or at the beginning. I've not been consistent about that, but to be completely honest, I do like going over manuals. Again, I've referred to manuals as kind of a lost arts. And I do believe that. Ever since I've started going over manuals more for LPs, I've really respected them a lot more. Oh god. Well, that's a rude trick. Also, yeah, here's your reason to maybe use Kine. But yeah, no, honestly, this isn't even the episode I'm gonna go over the the manual all that much, but... But yeah, no, I just gotta say, I think... manuals were a cool thing to have to give information to a player, and also just let people kinda have fun. Now granted, there are a lot of instances of, like, whoever wrote a manual kind of had ideas for the game story that maybe aren't canonical, but I don't mind those a lot. Again, it gives some alternate information, but, you know, I kind of find it charming in its own way. It's not really something you can get away with anymore, because people will accuse you of doing fanfic, but... Anytime it comes up in older games, I'm just like, oh, that's cute. Somebody was just bored one afternoon, and they were like, hey, I'm writing the manual, and it's not like the story's that clear anyway. I'm just gonna kinda go wild with this one. Also, God. I don't think Cloudy Park is my favorite world, if I'm being honest. Like, between this and the previous level with the just kind of... getting between the mummy enemies, I don't know if this is my favorite set of levels. And this just feels a little weird and ROM-hacky in a way, which, again, is its own kind of charm. Like, what if we just made kind of a weird level out of this block type that we made? I feel like you don't get a lot of these anymore. And, you know, it's not incompatible with Kirby. Like, this would be a rude level design for any game where you can't just actively fly, but... no, it does kind of make sense for Kirby, doesn't it? If you mess up platforming when you get up there, it doesn't matter. You haven't screwed yourself over, you don't have to jump into a pit. It's just, you know, it's a visually weird way of trapping the player that works for Kirby because he can float. Maybe I'm actually kind of turning around. Now that I say it out loud, it seems less weird and kind of charming. Also, hey, Goo's really good for this stage, huh? Yeah, there might actually be some difficulty for this one. Except I can fly. Like, I've got the rainbow drop. I don't have to change to anything unless I want to. And also, if you present me with a maze, I'm just going to choose the thing that gets me out of the stage sooner. That part has nothing to do with Goo, that just has to do with the fact that I have a map. What a weird set of levels. Well, we've still got 5 minutes left, so... oh, right, this one. I was about to say, oh yeah, the next stage must be at least a little weird. It's probably gonna be about 4 minutes, given the bosses in this game, but... yeah, speaking of bosses, now we also have a mini-boss stage, which... this was the one I was initially considering for... grinding out the other thing with Gooey, but... I'm gonna level with you. There's a better stage to find Gooey in. That's one of the stages in World 1, so... yeah, we'll open the next episode with me finding the thing. Which would mean that I could get 100% in this game. Except I don't think I've ever gotten the best results in the, end of stage minigame, barring that one time. Which means I can't actually get 100%. Getting a perfect on every single stage is actually a requirement for that. And I'm gonna level with you, I don't care. I don't think there should be pressure to have to get the best result for that one every time. Like, you've proven you've mastered the stage, and I guess if you get good at the end of level thing, you can also probably do it pretty reliably. But I didn't, and I don't want to have to do that at the end of every stage. I have to restart these enough as it is. Do you think I want to restart just because I didn't get a 1-up I don't need anyway? No, I don't. I don't want to have to do that minigame perfectly, so... Technically speaking, I have not finished everything in the game, so if you really care about reaching triple digits, you should have started doing that well a long time ago. For me, it's too late. I'm not going back through the rest of the stages just to do that. I don't want to. I have more respect for this game than I did the first time I played it, but that doesn't mean it's my favorite game on the planet, and I cannot play it over and over and over and over again. I'm going to leave well enough alone, and enjoy the time I've had with this, as I've gone through the game normally. I'm not getting a perfect minigame every time. Anyway, who's the boss? It's Krakow. It's a sky world, who did you expect? Look, you know who Krakow is by now. I mean, technically this is Krakow Jr., because it's just the eye. Although, technically speaking, he is in Cloud Coat. Okay, there we go. Now it's Krakow Jr. But of course, again, you know Krakow. If you've played a Kirby game, you know Krakow's deal. And as always, he is a very hardy boss, and of the bosses in the game is probably one of the tougher ones, so it makes sense he's the penultimate one. And of course, here is his true form, where he goes from Junior to regular. I've never quite understood that. Why is he Junior when he's not fully formed? Is it just every time you beat Krakow Jr., he goes to his dad, and then this is actually his dad you're fighting, even though it doesn't look like it's a different Krakow? Yeah, honestly, it's a bit of a weird thing to think about. Anyway, yeah, this is actually kind of the perfect ability for this. Is it doing the most damage? No. Am I out of the way of any attack that isn't this one? Yes. Yes, I am. Does that make the battle easier? Oh, you better believe it. Honestly, even if you're not using Ku and Spark, I don't think this is one of the harder Krakow fights in the series. He's got a lot of tricks, but I don't think he's really active enough to be the threat he normally is. Bam. Alright, and... you know, I haven't pointed it out. It is weird that we get the Kirby dance before we pick up the thing, but that's just how it is for this game. We do the dance, then we pick up the thing, and then we say next time on Kirby's Dream Land 2, we finish the game.